Welcome to my channel Commerce with Vikas sir. This is my episode 3 on practical problems on bills of exchange. Please follow episode 1 and episode 2 for clear understanding. Let's read the question. Mr. X sold goods to Mr. Y for rupees 25,000 on 1 for 23. Goods has been sold by X to Y on credit. That is, Y has purchased goods from Mr. X. Y paid rupees 5,000 and accept a bill drawn on him after date for 3 months on 1/4/23. Y paid to 5,000. It means Y paid to X. It means X received from Y, that is 5,000. So out of 25,000, 5,000 has been paid by Y. Then the remaining balance is 20,000 and Y has accepted a bill for 3 months on the remaining amount, that is 20,000. Bills of receivable and bills payable amounted to 20,000 only, not 25,000, right? 25,000 has been paid or has been settled through cash. On the due date, bill is dishonored and noting charges paid by X amounted to 100. And what is noting charges? When the bill is dishonored, then the person holding the bill has to go to the notary public to establish the fact that the bill has been dishonored, and the notary public will charge certain commission and what is called noting charges. So let's deal with the problems first. Okay, we have to prepare 3 columns. One is for the date column, the second is the books of drawer, and third is the books of the drawee. So on 1/4/23, in the books of X, he will pass 3 entry. Number 1 for goods sold, number 2 for bills drawn, and number 3 for cash received on maturity against bills. Likewise, in the books of Y, the Y will pass 3 entry, 1 for goods purchase, second for acceptance of bill, and third for honoring the bill on the maturity date. On 1/4/23, X sold goods to Y. When goods are sold, then what will be the entry? Debtors to sales. And who is the debtors? Y is the debtors. So to person to whom goods are sold on credit is known as the debtors. So the first entry in the books of X will be Y's account debit to sales, that is debtor to sales, that is 25,000 being goods sold on credit. And second entry in the books of X will be, out of 25,000, 5,000 has been paid by Y, that is 5,000 received by X, and for the remaining balance Y accept the bill. So when 5,000 is received, what X will do? He will debit bank account and he will credit the giver. So bank account 5,000, and who is the giver? Y is the giver. So for 5,000, bank account debit to Y account. But for the remaining balance, that is 20,000, bill has been drawn on Y. So when bill is drawn in the books of the drawer, what will the entry? Bills receivable to drawee. So for 5,000, bank to Y's account, and for 20,000, bills receivable to drawee, that is Y. So the combined entry will be bank account debit, bills receivable 20,000 debit to Y account credit. Separately, if you pass separate entry, then first entry will be bank account to Y's account only for 5,000, and the next entry will be bills receivable to Y account only 20,000, being part payment received and bill drawn on Y for 3 months. Okay. On the due date, that is 1st April, means 3 days grace, 4 day, 4th, and from April 3 months, if you add it, it will give you 7. That is 7th, that is 4th July 23, the bill is dishonored. When bill is dishonored, drawer always debit drawee account. So you will definitely debit Y's account, and you will cancel the bills account, and the bills is 20,000. Okay. But Y also has to pay rupees 100 noting charges paid by X. So X has paid the amount initially. So what the entry will be? The X will credit bank account for rupees 100, because it is X who paid noting charges to the notary public. So on dishonored, the X will do the entry of drawee account debit, bills receivable account credit to bank account. So you will debit the drawee account by 20,100. 20,100 because 20,000 is for the bill and 100 is for the noting charges. So when bill is dishonored, drawer will pass the entry as drawee to bills receivable. Actually it is 20,000 but 100 has been paid as noting charges. So X will credit to bank as he has paid the noting charges to bank 100, but he will recover from Y. So he will debit Y with the face value of the bill plus noting charges. So Y account will be debited by 20,100 and bills receivable will be credited by 20,000 and bank will be credited by 100. So let's have a look on in the books of Y. So Y purchase goods on credit from X. So when goods are purchased on credit, the entry will be purchase account debit to creditor. Who is a creditor? X is the creditor. So purchase account debit to X account 25,000. Second entry on 1/1/23, he has to pick the entry for the cash payment of 5,000 and bill acceptance for 20,000. So when he paid to X, then the Y will pass, the drawer will pass the entry of X account to bank. X account to bank for 5,000. So X account, X is the receiver, X account to bank. And for the balancing amount, he has to accept the bill. So when bill is accepted, the drawer will pass the entry as drawer to bills payable. For payment, drawer to bank, and for accepting the bill, drawer to bills payable. So Y will pass the entry of X account debit 25,000 to bank 5,000, and for the balance you will accept the bill, that is rupees 20,000. So being part payment made and bill drawn by X accepted for 3 months. So this is very important. And the last entry, you will have to pass the entry for the dishonor. Whenever bill is dishonored, drawer will pass the entry as the bills payable to drawer, bills payable to drawer. But he has to pass the entry for the noting charges paid by the concerned party. Okay. So when bill is dishonored, he will debit bills payable account. So bills payable account is only 20,000, but he has to credit X by 20,100. That is 100 for the noting charges paid by B, is paid by X. So he will credit X by 20,100. So he will pass the entry as bills payable 20,000, noting charges 100, and X account credit 20,100. So please watch my previous episode and like and subscribe and share my channel. Goodbye.